The Dubuque Area Arts Collective presents Ruix Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you happen to be listening to this during. And welcome to the first episode, the inaugural episode of the Ruix Podcast. My name is Jon Eagle. I am a local musician / smartass. Been playing in bands, mostly drums, since high school. I'm almost 40 now, so over 20 years. Drums, like I said, but I also like to croon a tune once in a while. I tried to, learn guitar once, but that was a disaster. Anyway, that's irrelevant. The Ruix Podcast, back on track. The Ruix Podcast is my first podcast. I've been talking about and thinking about possibly maybe doing a podcast for a long time, but I get ideas for things a lot. I'm more of an idea-man and less of an action-man. The problem with being an idea-man is sometimes, or at least my problem, is that I rarely saw any ideas through to fruition. I think that's maybe partially because I'm lazy, and partially because I like to drink. But again, neither here nor there. The purpose of this podcast, I feel like I'm saying podcast way too much, but the purpose of this podcast is to promote local music and arts in our community of Dubuque, Iowa, but also regionally. We have friends, musician friends and artist friends all around the tri-state area, Quad Cities, Iowa City. People, come here and play shows for us or, hang their art for us. And I say we, and by we I mean the collective known as the Ruix, which is, I'll get to that in a minute, but the Dubuque Area Arts Collective, or DAAC, DAAC I actually kind of prefer because it's a little less of a nightmare to say. DAAC I always get tripped up on. So DAAC, the Dubuque Area Arts Collective, and Ruix, which started out as a little punk rock style zine back in 2011 that we were trying to put out every month, but it just became too much of an undertaking. So now we put it out 4 times a year. And again, same thing, covering local music and art. And we also outsource a lot of local writers to write pieces for us as well. And then I also write a blog that sort of serves as a companion piece to this show. The blog will be weekly. The podcast will be monthly. And so we're just trying to promote all types of music and art with a slant, obviously, toward the local. And we do this through putting on shows, putting on art shows, art exhibits, and shows in weird venues and things like that. So once a month we're going to do this podcast, or I am, and I'll interview a guest from the community. This week's guest is none other than Victor Cayro, famed author. I don't know why I said author. Artist, be it comics or show posters, he's done it all, and he's I use famed, very loosely. He's a local guy that we all love, and we sat down and had a very nice conversation about where he got his start and where his influences come from and things like that. But before we get to the actual interview, I want to plug a few things. First of all, the very first basement show at the DAAC gallery well, the first basement show anyway. Did I say that already? I think I said that already. Will be coming up here on July 9th, which, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, is in 4 days. So make sure you come to this. It will feature the Glimmer Blinken, which are local guys, one of whom happens to be me on drums. And then two Madison, Wisconsin bands, the Minotaurs and Wood Chickens. And that is a free show. Always suggested donations of, whatever. What else? We've got other basement shows coming up. July 15th is another basement show, and that will feature Kevin Greenspoon, an ambient artist from L.A., Devin Dart from Iowa City, and Arc Numbers, which is another local act. And then the only other thing that we have in the basement upcoming will feature Floating Cave, which are, again, local people, local musicians. Nevada Green from Columbia, Missouri, and Id Pyramid from the Quad Cities. So be sure and come to all of those if you can. Let's see, what else is coming up? The release party for the next Ruix print issue is July 25th, and that will be actually upstairs, not in the basement, in the actual gallery. And it's also the kickoff to the Earth Show art exhibit, but I will talk about that in a second here. The Ruix release portion of the event will feature music from Douglas Kramer Nye and Pete Balistreri, both Iowa City guys, and Asumaya from Madison, Wisconsin, again. So looking forward to that. And again, like I said, it also will serve as the opening of the Earth Art exhibit. Now, again, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, submissions are now closed for that. They closed today. But the Earth Art exhibit is the next art exhibit to be hanging at the DAAC studio. The works in this show will focus on topics related to environmental issues and/or consist of salvaged or found objects. It'll showcase unique and contemporary perspectives on environmental topics, as well as unexpected and sophisticated use of recycled or found materials in all media types, including painting, drawing, sculpture, photography, multimedia, digital, performance art, and installation art. Probably more. I'm just naming as many as I can come up with. Also, there's a Best in Show magazine cover contest. Whoever wins Best in Show will feature on the cover of Grain magazine, which is a biannual DAAC arts publication. So don't forget, that's 7/25, July 25th, coming up here in a couple of weeks, and that's 6 to 10 p.m. Again, suggested donations are much appreciated. Or donations are much appreciated. Suggested, I don't know, probably $10, $5, I don't know. But they'll be taking them at the door, so you can find out then. That's not my area, really. But also, the big exhibit, the exhibit that started it all, the Salon de Refuse, I think I'm saying that right, the Salon exhibit, is also hosted by the DAAC, and it will also be in the Salon, or the DAAC gallery. Now, submissions are going to be accepted until August 10th for this show, because it is not until September 5th. But the exhibit will showcase the work of local and regional artists that have not been accepted into local juried exhibitions or galleries. Now, in its fourth year, the exhibit gives artists a second chance to present their work to the community, and it also highlights the vast growth of Dubuque's up-and-coming art scene. Again, that's September 5th. suggest a donation again. And that will hang actually until early October, ending with the annual Fall Into Art tour. Now let's see. I don't think there's anything else I need to plug. Again, my first guest is Victor Cayro, and we had a really great conversation. So let's go check it out now. Ruix Podcast, episode number 1. I'm Jon Eagle, and with me today is local artist extraordinaire,
clown.
Anything
clown
else
shoe.
you want? Yeah. Victor Cayro. Hi, buddy.
Hi, bud.
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Now you and I go way back. We could talk about that first, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember when you met me? I kind of.
Shit, I thought you used to bully me in the locker room. Didn't you?
No, that was not.
The
I didn't even go to school with you.
Okay, wait. So what happened? Where do we meet? Come on.
The earliest memory I have of you, our first. This probably wasn't our first. I'm sure we had met before that. I know we had actually because the interaction involves that. I was when I was seeing a girl, Rachel. Remember her?
Rachel,
coolest girl in school.
You're gonna pick in scabs.
And you were dating one of her best friends, and I remember they were in a fight, and she wanted to get. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Someone. Jesus, fuck! Why are you bringing this one? Okay,
this is my earliest memory.
Okay, and then you and like a bunch of boys came over, had a few drinks.
No, come on! You're making it more macho than it actually was.
It was a little macho.
Okay,
it was.
Here's how I
macho.
remember. They were in a fight. She had some piece of clothing or something over at her house.
I thought it was like a Nintendo or
maybe, I don't know. It was inconsequential, and I could give a shit now. But I just remember like they were crying on the street. I went there for support, and then she calls you out, like, and you're all peacocking, puff chested, and then you come out and you're like, "Oh, it's Jon Eagle. Hey, buddy." And I'm just like, there's no way these two broads are going to get involved in this friendship, and we've been pals ever since.
Ever since.
Yeah.
I would almost think even maybe before.
I think before.
Probably before.
I think before. But we both grew up, for better or worse, in Dubuque. I mean, I moved here pretty early, and you were one of the first people I met in high school, maybe after high school a little bit.
You were the cool old guy who had the music. I mean, older.
Right. Older. Okay, thanks.
Although I didn't think so. That was like our friend who's in this world famous rock band, the Telephones.
Oh yeah, Justin Telephone.
And he's like, that Jon Eagle, man. I got to get the Anointance by him, and so he told me that if I wanted to go anywhere in this town, I had to.
You had to talk to me.
I had to talk to you, man. I had to kiss the ring, polish your scepter a little bit.
I don't know if I remember it that way, but.
It wasn't quite.
But anyway,
like
I've always admired your artwork, and I don't know, how is there a way that you can say that like your artwork was informed by growing up in Dubuque in any way, or
what would be the way that was informed?
I mean, you got a pretty distinct voice in terms of the way you draw and the way you create art.
I think it was from years of being relegated to certain parts of the lunchroom. And not being the popular guy, and then kind of having, like people trying to shove me up against the wall and call me names, and all the names you could imagine.
Okay.
So there was a lot of that. So I had to kind of form my own voice, but it was also informed by like in my work, if people were to look at it, and maybe they don't need to, like the older stuff is sort of has the like some of those echoes, the hate and the
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was fucking weird back then. it was a different place. It was a time when people were using expletives, especially homophobic
and
words,
racial ones,
and
for
racial
sure,
ones for sure.
Dubuque is a different place then.
And that, when I was younger, I was actually darker when I was younger, and there really wasn't many other dark kids in any of the schools that I went to. So like maybe there'd be like a black kid, and then there was like the me and maybe an Asian guy. Right. But I was usually, but bullies kind of.
You're Peruvian. Right?
Peruvian, yeah. So, yeah, I had a lot of bullies growing up. Oh. So it kind of just made me be nasty. Yeah. So a lot of my older shit that I would do was just a lot of violence, a lot of, I don't know, incorporating the shit that was flung onto me, and then passes through my filters. And then if it was me doing a parody of the shit that I had to deal with, or
like a muscle bound, violence laden fucking revenge story or something.
Yeah, because I was, in a way, that was my revenge. Was like, well, I can do something that I didn't see anyone else doing here. Yeah, and that was what I wanted to do, was to make artwork and do comics, and then also just kind of ward away the evil spirits, and with my own version of the evil spirits, but then with attached to it a sense of humor about myself and the work, that you couldn't necessarily take it serious, because if a person were to just look on the surface of the things that I've written, the things that I've drawn, they would say, this guy, he's a racist or a homophobe or a sexist, misogynist, whatever. Right. But that's not really. It's more of a send up, a goof on all that shit that because this small town with the small minds filled with hate. Yeah. So. Yeah. But even then, fuck the old stuff, man.
It's pretty intense. But like always, like that's like I had even heard like stuff like, well, it's a little bit, off color, like, and certainly racially charged, but like always like, but so detailed. So like, you know what I mean? So yeah, your work has always impressed me like that. And then later on, you started getting asked to do show posters and stuff like that. And
I did a number of promotional flyers. I would probably have done, I would think, around 50 or so. Yeah. And I don't know, for like a number of years, kind of off and on for almost 10 years, just kind of doing flyers for these different shows, because I figured I was in one way or another involved in the community in that way, with the art.
Yeah.
And then also not only just in the community, then like people from these, it was like my calling card. So maybe I never actually heard back from any of the bands. I would think that they would like maybe try to contact me, like, hey, I really liked your stuff, maybe you should do an album cover. And I've done some album covers for some local bands here, and for other bands, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was fruitless. It definitely helped me build my chops up. Yeah, to get something done.
I still have a number of those flyers still. I think they're awesome. I'm surprised that nobody got back to you about that. Like the band, do you mean the touring bands?
Yeah. But I mean,
because I know the local guys that you did artwork for on their covers, they usually.
Oh yeah,
they're obviously new to contact you. So that's accolades right there, sort of.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I'm not to negate that or poo-poo that.
No, I was just wondering. So the Heavenly States or whatever, like
no, the Heavenly States
never got back to you.
No, they did not. Easy T and fucking what is his name? The Gore, not Gore, but fucking
Mike Hard,
Mikey Hard.
Yeah.
I
remember one with it'll get edited. I'll just say Fat Drew on it.
Fat Drew.
That might have been the one of the God Bully or one of the Mike Hard. I can't remember what it was, but that was my favorite one.
Yeah, because it had a list of all of his crimes against the humanity and against the community, and exposed him, and he liked it. Yeah, he was flattered.
Oh, really?
Because a real sociopath would be flattered, like, oh, someone is giving me credit for all this shitty stuff that I've done to people. But at the same time, it was by doing that to him, like it was me like getting myself off the hook for things that I was guilty of. So
right,
it's a growing process, and that was even 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So God bless him, and
God bless him.
God bless the guy.
And a lot of other friends have been immortalized in your artwork. I know personally I have.
You have?
Yeah. You drew a picture of me and my ex, Katie.
I did, yeah. I think I drew her like Aeon Flux, and I think your cock was about 3 feet long. And
I'm playing drums on her ass.
That's what she had legs, and she had all the song lyrics to Annie DeFranco on her legs, tattooed.
Nico Case, but okay.
Or whatever, Nico Case.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So, okay, you mentioned your artwork being sort of your calling card into the artistic community here, but maybe you don't want to talk about it, but I am curious. How did you start doing the music that you do?
Oh, the music that I do.
Because I know you venture into that once in a while
with Bobby, the world famous Bobby Bear Jr. I mean Bobby Bucko Jr.
Yeah, and going back to the MySpace days with the September 11th was in my top 8, I think. So talk about that a little bit.
That sort of came out of, I'm a restless guy when it comes to creativity. I feel I'm not always doing it, but probably 70% of the time I'm focused on that.
On the music?
I'm just creating something. Something.
Okay.
So I started young doing drawing when I was 4, pretty avidly, and I remember when I was either 4 or 5, I started. My brother would draw, and I said, "Oh, I want to draw just like my brother. He's cool." My brother, the first cartoon I ever that I seen a person make, my brother drew. It was the Adventures of E.T., and it was called How E.T. Got His Long. Why is E.T.'s neck so long?
Okay.
And it was E.T. Going to the toilet.
Okay.
So my brother drew this. I think he was 8 and I was 4.
Okay.
And E.T. was fresh in our mind in the 80s.
Sure.
And so it's, why is E.T.'s neck so long? So he walks up to the toilet, doing his E.T. thing, and the seat's up, and so he's got his wiener hanging over the toilet, and then the seat falls down on his wiener. And then his neck extends. Elliot. And that was the first comic that I had seen done, and that just lit a fire up my ass. And then I said I wanted to learn how to draw, and I started to trace. And then I remember taking the tracings to my dad, and he says, "What? Don't do that. Don't ever copy off of anybody."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, okay." So that like stuck in my head.
Fire, sure.
Don't copy anybody. So that was that's always been imperative. Like do my own thing to stay, or at least enough. To form my own ideas if I can, or if take existing ideas and then make them new somehow.
Okay.
And the music, it started with the drawing, and then earlier on. Maybe like when I was 8 years old, started making videos with my friend Tim, Snowflake Digitalis.
Bob McPherson, whatever his
He's got so
is.
many names, he may not.
I've seen a few of those videos.
And so
interesting stuff.
We did videos for many years until you turn like 15, 16. Then people, young kids, they find alcohol and girls and chasing girls and driving. So he stopped making stuff. And I'm like, well, I can't stop making stuff, So I continue to do videos. I continue to try to, cultivate my creativity and concert it into the ways that I could share it. And that was the videos. And the videos really, I kind of stopped because I also was an avid comic reader as a young guy. So then I started focusing on doing, drawing and building those chops up. But nothing really came of that. So I just, so maybe I was like 19 years old, 19, 20. I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do because high school was over.
Yeah.
Living at my parents' house, kind of rudderless, didn't know what I was going to do. And so if my parents were, at work or something, I just get a tape recorder out and had a keyboard, and then I just start screaming obscenities and, and singing my little heart out. I was just the canary in the mine and, trying to save myself. you know? And that's sort of how I started to build that up. I said, hey, wait a minute, these are kind of funny, I guess. A lot of them were
They're definitely funny.
kind of wrong, you know, but at the same time I didn't think I was ever going to have an audience.
Right.
So then it was just like, you know, I'd be down there naked, you know, at the keyboard, jamming away, screaming, you know.
You have to be naked, is that
or my
part of it?
My underpants, you know, or been up all night or 24 hours plus, or you know, with a hangover or something, and just wait till my mind just gets to a place where I just fearless, you know, and that's where I'd want to go before I hit record on just a little tape deck, and all the stuff I've done has been just analog tape shit.
Yeah, I think I have a few. I have a few of the what is the tapes that you were giving out a couple years ago. The
Implied Consent.
Implied Consent. Yes, I have 2 of those.
And that came about. I lived in New York for a couple of years, and from 2008 to 2010, you know, kind of tried my hand at that. Mm-hmm. And I had some correspondence going on with Bobby Bucko Jr. While I was in New York, and he sent me a couple of his discs, and I came back to Dubuque, and then we started talking. And I must have expressed some interest in recording some stuff, because I kind of wanted to do it again, because I was doing tape. I was doing field recordings and also interviewing artists, doing art talk in this loft apartment, and again just like really kind of initiating really inappropriate conversations with these now noted cartoonists and artists there. Yeah. But then also, you know, playing some music or whatever the fuck I was doing, and you know, Bob and I started hanging out. We'd go to the studio space and just kind of dick around, and until finally we kind of struck a few things and said, hey, wait a minute, you know, let's play with this a little bit more. And so that was about 2010, and that just kind of snowballed until a point where we actually thought that we had something. And that was about 2012, and then what we had done, and also I had done stuff just by myself with a tape recorder, just rapping or whatever, you know, or doing spoken word or whatever. You know, it's like, I don't know if it's like a sort of like a retarded. I shouldn't use that word, but sort of a, you know, a low grade Leonard Cohen or something, or a blue collar Leonard Cohen, with a little bit of rap, a little slam poetry, and some jokes.
And Leonard Cohen meets the Last Poets.
Something along those lines. You know, just very. I don't know. I mean, all the stuff is. I don't write anything down. I just sort of, if I get the idea, then I just try to go off the cuff, and see where it lands. And there's a lot of misses with, you know. There's some hits, but there's some misses. Right. And people could argue that the hits are not hits. And like, what? Like, I can't listen to this shit, you know. So, you know, the stuff is made. Some of it I think is good. Right. You know.
Well, I think your dad's advice definitely resonated with you, to not copy off anyone, because like even applies to your music. Like, there's definitely nothing like what you do, in terms of everything you do creatively. I think it's all very unique, and you, like I said, you have a very distinct voice. Whatever happened with your brother's cartooning career? Did that take off? Because he did that ET one and that's it, or?
No, he did other drawings, and he had a style that sort of emulated a cartoonist from Mad Magazine named Don Martin, who passed quite a few years ago.
Okay, but I remember him.
But it was sort of emulated, but he developed something inspired by, but he never really tried to cultivate it that much. And at some point, I do have a dream where him and I will be filling canvases up with his goofy cartoons and to collaborate, just to keep, give him something to do. I mean, something we can do together as a family thing,
Yeah.
Because I would love to do something like that. I'm just so overburdened with my own, I'm getting crushed with all the stuff I'm working on at the moment.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah.
So he sounds like he was probably a big influence in how you chose to do what you do. Are there any other influences you want noted that that
Let me see.
Like other cartoonists, contemporaries, or classic.
Jeez.
Otherwise.
Well, I mean, as far as influences goes, it's very wide. I appreciate all the classics, the Renaissance artists, the junk artists. I watched a lot of movies. I actually grew up watching all the old black and white movies. Old TV shows. Your Kane and the Kung Fu's.
Yeah, you turned me onto a lot of weird shit, VHS style, like
Dead Heat.
Sure, I know, yeah,
Dead Heat.
Piscopo and Treat Williams.
That's probably actually that movie probably was the biggest inspiration for everything that I've ever done.
Really?
One of them. That, Action Jackson, Predator, Die Hard, RoboCop.
Yeah.
All those movies that have like mythological, reinvented mythological characters.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean,
I see RoboCop pop up in your work a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, not as because I almost feel like I want to get beyond like some of those old influences, but I mean, yeah, those things will always in one form or another emerge in what I'm doing now and in the future. But to say that I have like a singular influence, no, and a lot of it actually comes from dreams. A lot of it comes from just things that I see and conversations I have with people or just people or their mannerisms or whatever, news. But and aesthetically the stuff that I do, it's influenced just about by anything that I see.
Okay.
Awake or asleep.
Yeah. Dream thing I can definitely see. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. What about
Bob?
Great movie. Did you ever draw
Bill Murray?
Bob Wiley? Yeah.
I should, because that will fucking make me money. Because everyone says, "Oh, I love Bill Murray," but you know what Bill Murray's really good at?
Being in Wes Anderson films.
And assaulting his wife.
What?
No, it was like one of those clickbaits. It was like, all these stars, like imagine all the craziest stuff that they did, or not imagine, but these are the things that they did. And then it would just, you get pop-up ads, and then you click, and it goes like, Matthew Broderick killed a person. Matthew Broderick killed somebody, or then you click on another thing, and then another person did this. And
Vince Neil killed Razzle from High Night Rocks.
Oh shit, yeah, he did, didn't he?
He absolutely did. I've seen those clickbaits. But
yeah, apparently Bill Murray assaulted his wife or treated her bad. But I mean, I think it was, again, it's drugs and alcohol. And that's the thing that, great people do bad things. And shitty people do good things sometimes.
True.
It happens.
Yeah, that's a good place to wrap it up. Do you have any, okay, so where can people see your work? Do you have like a website to plug? Isn't it something really long, like everyone should wish VictorCayrowell.com or something like that? It
was I love Victor Cayro and his comics.com.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I had that for a number of years. And, after you stop paying, your dues on a site.
Yeah, it's expired. The domain expired.
Then they have these fucking internet spiders that come and they just acquire your name. And then you'd have to like basically buy it off somebody. They hold it at ransom. And so all this time, like,
e-pirates.
Yeah, and then so it would be a site, but it would be like, it would have a picture of a butterfly and a girl like staring at the screen, or with like, buy this, or like Cialis, big boners,
right?
Get big dick, big pill.
Do you have a site now at all?
I do Instagram. I just
Okay, so what's your Instagram handle?
Victor_Cayro.
Okay.
Instagram.
So that's where you can see your work mostly?
Yeah, and I have like,
do you have a Facebook fan page or anything like that?
No, I don't. Maybe I should, but I don't. I have, what the fuck do I got? I got Flickr, I got Tumblr going on, and I don't even know the links. You just have to Googleize me.
Googleize them. You heard it. Okay. Anything else to add? I think we did good.
There's gotta be something. Can we do like a What About a Millionaire? Or like Who Wants to Be the Millionaire? And then you can call out to the audience and they could
Phone a friend.
phone a friend. Can we phone a friend? I mean, I know you can edit this up to, and you can do whatever.
Well, I did hear my phone vibrated and went off. Let's see who. Maybe we could. Oh, it's my mom. I don't want to call her because.
Well, your mom loves me. What does she got to say?
She will not let me off the phone if I call her back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm in the middle of taping a podcast, Ma. Can I call you back?
Oh,
okay, I just wanted to make sure that you're coming over on Sunday. Anyway, you want to talk about when we lived together? We would watch movies all the time. Remember Santa's Sleigh?
Santa's Sleigh with what's
Bill
his
Goldberg and Fran Drescher.
Great opening scene where it's like a who was the assortment of the people at the holiday dinner?
It was like
Fran Drescher,
Tom Arnold,
Martin Short.
Was Martin Short?
I think
there?
Martin Short was there.
Yeah, that could be. It was like a star-studded opening, and then everyone dies at the hands of Bill Goldberg in a Santa uniform, and then the rest of the movie was dog shit.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
Yeah,
there was that was a time that was.
I believe I turned you on to that one.
You did.
Yeah, I brought that home from the store, and you're like, "Oh, we got to watch this," and then you fell asleep in it because you had to go to the airport or something the next day.
Damn.
Can't remember, but
there was Dr. Detroit. We watched that one pretty good.
That's a great movie.
That excellent movie. Also another Fran Drescher film.
Mm-hmm.
She's in there when she was young and tight like a banjo leather,
Yeah.
Back in the day.
She's one of the hotter Jewesses back from the 80s anyway.
And what was the other one? Was Cicely Tyson and Richard
Oh, Bustin' Loose.
Bustin' Loose.
A good one.
But he also slaps her. He slaps her right in the face in front of all the kids.
He does. That
true. Was the drugs.
But then he gets captured by the KKK. So karma, instant karma.
Came back and got him. And then he lit himself on fire, and got MMS at the end of the movie. No, that's terrible. God bless him.
All right, we'll call Mom back. See what she says. It's ringing.
Fuck yeah.
What?
Is that really how you answer the phone these days?
What?
Oh, that's Christopher.
What?
Would you put Mom on, or did you call me?
Who's this?
This is Uncle John.
Oh, you scared me for a second.
Oh, did I?
He scared me for a second.
Put Mom on, will you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, it's Uncle John.
You didn't know who it was. Hi, Ma?
Yeah.
Did you call?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sitting here having a conversation with my friend Victor. You know Victor. Say hi.
Oh, I know Victor.
Hi, Mommy.
Victor.
Hi, Mama.
What did you need?
I was just wondering what time would be good for you on Sunday. Are you free all day?
Called it. Yeah, pretty much. I'm off all day.
Okay, well, I was thinking probably around 3-ish.
Okay. That works.
I just made some Cajun pickled green beans and carrots and onions, and let those soak for a couple of days. And
You're saying that like I've had it before.
no, you haven't.
Oh. Okay. That sounds good.
No, I'm just trying something different. It's a Cajun recipe.
You know, your son Jonathan is also trying something different. Because like those pickled beans, he's going to be soaking in his Daisy Dukes in my little kiddie pool in my backyard.
Oh, really?
He's going to get paddled a little bit. A little kiss on his cheek. A little kiss right on the tip of his nose.
Oh, my God.
Daddy.
Mom, I'm telling you, this is the year for trying new things.
Okay, Victor.
Okay, so 3 o'clock sounds good. I don't understand why you want me to come that early because I'm not like 80 and I don't eat at 4, but I'll come over anyway.
Well, you want to try 4-ish? I just thought if it was I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like, but...
If the weather's really nice, I might try and go swimming.
In my kiddie pool.
In Victor's kiddie pool and get kissed on the tip of the nose.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, and I'm, it might last into the afternoon, so, No, but that sounds good, Ma.
He's laughing so hard he's squealing. God. No, we can push it up to 4.
I can push it up to 6.
I was just giving you a hard.
Come on.
I just don't want to do it too late because I have to work the next day.
Well, I thought it was my birthday.
Well, it is your birthday, but I still have to work the next day.
I'm just joking, Ma. 3 o'clock's fine.
You're being a little a-hole.
You'll find out why in a couple of weeks. No, the Sunday's fine. 3 o'clock's fine.
I mean, if you can't make it at 3, 4 o'clock's fine. Well, we're planning on supper anyway.
Pickles.
But I just thought, the kids might want to play around, and that's why I was thinking around 3-ish,
Okay, sounds good.
But, so that's what I'm going to tell everybody else, okay?
3 o'clock's fine. Well, I'm going to get back to this conversation here, so.
Yeah, sounds like a good one.
Love you, Debbie.
I love you too.
All right, thanks, Mom. Love you.
All right, we'll see you on Sunday.
Okay.
Give Victor a big pinch for me.
I will. Bye. So that's Deb Swift. She's the guest number 2 on this first episode.
She's the best.
Hopefully she doesn't have anything against that. Anyway, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, homie.
All right. Okay, so that's how that conversation went. That was pretty good, right? I thought it was a good talk. Dug pretty deep, got to know Victor a little bit more than, at least me, at least better than I knew. Some things I didn't know about him. And we can always have him back if he's got other things that he wants to plug. And how about that surprise guest? That was a nice little cherry on the top, right? My mom is either going to love or hate this when it comes out, but I don't think she'll just kind of like it. I think it's either way I'm in trouble or she's going to love it, like I said. But we'll find out. Again, if you want to see Victor's work, he does not have a site right now, but his Instagram handle is Victor_Cayro. That is where you can see his work most prominently, and most of his stuff, I believe, is up there, or at least a good portion of it. And then I guess Google search him for his Flickr and his Tumblr. He's on there. Actually, you know what? Let me see, because I got a fucking Tumblr. I can find him. Tell you exactly what it is. Maybe, unless he's on there under one of his many, many pseudonyms. Bald Eagles or whatever the fuck. Should I not be talking through this while I'm searching? Okay. All right. Well, I thought I could maybe find it, but I don't see him. Oh, wait. I found one of his fucking paintings. What's that? Oh yeah, I probably should do that. I look for it with his Instagram handle, and it says tragically nothing. That's the search result. Okay, I did not pause that, so that was going the whole time. Okay, well, yeah, I don't see anything on Tumblr. I'm sure if you just Googled it, you could find him. He's about as prepared as I was for this thing, but Victor, Victor _ Cayro, Cayro is the Instagram handle, and that is where he does most of his online work these days, so you can find him there. As for me, again, I am playing in 4 days with the Glimmer Blinken at the DAAC space in the basement. It is the first show in the basement. We'll see how this goes. And we're playing with the two Madison bands, Minotaurs and Wood Chickens. So that should be a fun time. And don't forget that the submission deadline, if you want to be in the Salon show in September, is August 10th. So get your work in to... Oh, Jesus, what is that? I should probably... Submit DAAC, SUBMIT DAAC at gmail.com. Get your work in. I think that's it. We're going to wrap it up now. We'll see you next month.